Welcome to Flash Media. The Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Coalition Party confirmed that it sanctioned a meeting between its leader, Raila Odinga, and President William Ruto. This follows concerted pressure from various quarters, especially the clerics, calling for a meeting between the two political antagonists in order to reduce the rising tension in the country. The opposition said that their hope was that the initial meeting will lay the groundwork for honest talks over the issue that they have always put forward. Speaking to the media, the Azimio core principal Peter Munya said that the initial meeting was to prepare the grounds for honest discussions of the issues that they have always been raising and those of the Kenya Kwanza that they feel like raising. That the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Coalition confirmed that the meeting was all about when and how to hold talks between the two parties. Talking and responding to the question on disbanding the team that had already been formed initially to hold a dialogue between the two parties, Munya confirmed that the Azimio team is ready to disband the team and form a new team as per the requirement of the dialogue and as per the requirement of the talk between the two parties. Talking about the office of opposition as an oversight as raised by the Kenya Kwanza, Peter Munya said and responded that that is the Kenya Kwanza issue and not the Azimio la Umoja issue. He said that talks are as a result of a disagreement between the two parties, disagreeing on the cost of living, embezzling of election board, and as well as the audit of the 2022 elections that must be part of the talks. Peter Munya continued by responding and said that the accountability and responsibility for the brutality of human rights of protesters should be part of the talk and part of the dialogue on table. Speaking and responding to the same, Peter Munya said that we need to have people who are willing to talk and listen to the cry of the citizen. Responding to a question raised that why do we need foreign intervention from different entities when we have provision of the most elaborate constitution framework to address the problem that is being experienced in the country. It is due to lack of commitment that we cannot be able to address political stabilities after every cycle of elections in the country. Peter Munya responded to the question by saying that it is due to trust, the lack of trust between the two parties and the trust deficit shown by the sitting government each and every cycle. Again, he responded by saying that the constitution does not outlaw involvement of mediators in any part of talk in the country of Kenya. Responding to the same and continuing, Peter Munya said that their issue should not be limited. The issue that they shall table during the day of talk are not limited, and neither is the Kenya Kwanza government. The engagement with the people continues. Peter Munya said that they will always engage the people as per the rights of the constitution. Peter Munya concluded by saying that the meeting that was held previously by the president and the Azimio leader Raila Odinga didn't agree on any issues as raised by the Kenya Kwanza government. Those were their own issues. Speaking the president of Kenya the other day while he was attending an interdenominational Thanksgiving prayer at Ukunda Showgrounds in Kwale County, he said that he told the rails Kenya is a democratic country and that there is no leader who should orchestrate violence that results in the loss of life and destruction of property. The president stated that while he is open to talks about anything else, he cannot negotiate on the Kenya's safety. The president also reacted angrily to critics who questioned the absence of the cost of living as a topic of discussion during the negotiations, claiming that the cost of living is addressed in the Kenya Kwanza manifesto. The president stated that the government is implementing various development projects in the blue economy and housing sector to create jobs for the youth in order to prevent them from participating in protests in Kenya. Some of the president's allies, on the other hand, urged him not to engage in any negotiation with the opposition leader that are not focused on the interests of ordinary mwananchi. According to the Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi, the opposition wishes to internalize the election laws and create the crisis where none exists. Salim Mvurya, Cabinet Secretary in charge of mining and blue economy. The House Speakers Moses Wetangula and Amason Kingi maintained a hard line, urging the president not to meet Raila Odinga and instead focus on implementing his agendas. Members of parliament led by Mwangi Kiunjuri of Laikipia East, Ngozi Rai of Kinango, Cheforomodo Mangale of Lungalunga, and Taita Taveta women member of National Assembly Ludia Haika also urged the president not to engage in any negotiations that are not in the best interest of Kenyans. The president again continued by urging the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition not to engage in any protests that lead to destruction of property in the country of Kenya, reminding them that Kenya is a democratic nation and every issue should be handled and be tackled as per the constitution and the provisions of the constitution of Kenya. The Kenya Kwanza government still stands firm that they are ready to hold discussions with the Azimio la Umoja coalition by the provision under the constitution of Kenya as it states on the laws that should guide them during the talk, and every provision that is being made and every other need that should be engaged in the talk by the Kenya Kwanza and the Azimio la Umoja should be constitutional. We keep following and updating you on every task of politics in Kenya. Remember to hit the subscribe button not to miss any update from Flash Media.